You are listening to 4Geeks podcast. We talk about business, technology, and provide advice on how entrepreneurs can grow their companies. Hope you enjoyed this conversation.
Hello everyone and welcome to another episode here at 4Geeks podcast. Today we are going to talk about a really nice topic. It's a comparison actually. Well, maybe we can go through the difference between Google Cloud and AWS. With me is here Allan. Allan is the CEO at 4Geeks. How are you, Allan?
Hey Sergio, hi guys. Thanks for listening to this new episode in the 4Geeks podcast. That's right. Today we talk about how Google deal with Amazon Web Services and how Amazon Web Services deals with Google Cloud. And maybe we can talk, Sergio, about the UX, maybe about the pricing that is very important point for some projects and startups and products and security. That is a very important point. So you're a techie guy. Let's start.
Yeah, but first, Allan, just let me know how can I listen this podcast or how can I follow these episodes in my account, or how does it work?
Yeah, it's very easy. Well, you can find this episode in 4geeks.io/podcast in a website, or you can find us on iTunes, iBox, and TuneIn. Just download the app for your iPhone or for your Android and subscribe, and that's it.
Okay, perfect. So you have it. Today we are recording this podcast from Costa Rica, from the 4Geeks offices. We deliver our amazing products here at this office. So let's go ahead and talk about the UX and the UI experience for Google, let's say.
What do you think about that? What do you think about the UX? So I think Google, personally, I think Google is making a huge work in the UX area, you know? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. I think Google is more easy to use. It's more clean.
To understand it, that.
Yeah, it's easy to know where you are positioning in. But in AWS, I think it's more complex because they have more products. So first time I felt like lost in the UI. But when I arrived to Google Cloud Console, it was very easy, very intuitive how to click or where to click. So I think this round, if we can say that, is for Google, because the quantity of features they have is just the right, and they put it in a good way that you don't feel lost. You can go directly on what you need. You don't have to go through a lot of clicks or a lot of sub menus to see what you need. In Amazon, I think this is more complex. So UX for me is for Google, you know, and also the cleanness is why it is more easy to the view.
Maybe AWS is old school?
Maybe, but I think the issue here is a lot of features they have.
Okay.
That's what I think it is, because if you open it's like a menu with a lot of options. I don't know. I don't like it. Even that I'm not a huge fan of material design. I'm not a fan of this specific design, but I think Google Cloud does it or use it, the material design, well.
Yeah. Another things about that is to connect a specific service. For example, if you want to connect to a specific instance, VPS, for example, a Linux VPS or a Windows VPS, and connecting from Amazon, from AWS, you need to work a bit more steps,
Yeah, sure.
But I think from Google you can connect it just for click on the SSH button, right? That's right.
Yeah, with this, I don't know how they call it, but it's like Google Console.
Google
I
Console?
think, yeah,
Yeah.
Google Console, and it is really amazing what
And
you can.
everything is connected with your Google account. You do
Yep.
with your Gmail account or with
Yeah, you already
your
have it.
company, exactly, or with
You
your
already have it.
or with your company email. And if you have that, you have access to
Yeah,
that
at
instance.
the office with someone new, they already have an account when they ingress to 4Geeks, right?
Yeah.
So it's easy to add someone to the IAM account and give them roles or accesses.
Have you compared, Sergio? Have you compared how many time, how long time are you taking setting up an instance in AWS versus Google?
Well, not with a watch per se,
Okay.
but by feeling, I will say Google is faster. With a lot of minutes, with some minutes like 2 minutes, I think we can have a cluster up and running easily, right? Without not too much customization, because I think Amazon provides you the all customization at once. Google is more like simplified on that. So I think Google's is faster. I don't have a watch, or I cannot say like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, or 50 minutes, but I can say by feeling that it's Google.
Yeah, well, I need to say, Sergio, that Amazon have a very good documentation for all the AWS services, and for all the Amazon lovers, I think so. That documentation is very clear and is very specific and can drive you to the right thing that you want to do, right? But thanks to the Google UX, you don't need to write any documentation because it's very easy to understand.
Explanatory, yeah. The UI just go through the process natural, but I like the documentation of Google as well. They have a lot of use cases. For example, at this moment we are working with Kubernetes a lot and at 4Geeks, and that's something that you can find easily, the specific scenario you are having in the specific moment. So I think the documentation of Google is well. So now I will go to the pricing and the billing stuff, the good part, right? Because it is touching our wallet. So basically, I want to start with the free trial. So what happens with Google is that they give you like $300, I think, for usage. So it is pretty good because you can go through a real situation and you can make sure that your budget will be at any specific level. So you can know, for example, if you use the $300 in one day, well, you can imagine how much you will spend in the next year, for example. So it's basically a real life situation we can face on the free trial. That I really like it. I really like it because we can check specifically how my infrastructure will cost before going live. And
I think, Sergio, I think you wrote a comparable table in the Google blog.
Yeah, exactly.
And you compare the same stack in Google and on Amazon.
Yep.
And what do you get?
Yeah, well, I can go after finish the comparison on the free trial. So this is Google talking. Okay.
Google.
Well, as I was saying, actually GitLab provides more credit if you open the Google account between them, through them. So with opening GitLab and Google, you can have $500 to be spent in Google. So you can test your instance, you can run the standard instance and see how your budget will behave, right, during the year, for example. Amazon, in the other corner, doesn't provide a credit per se. They have different stack of services for free forever.
I think it's not forever.
Well,
I think it's for a year.
Yeah, you're right. So you can basically in the blog you mentioned I have that you can run 750 hours per month on one CPU and one RAM instance with 30 gigabytes of disk storage. So that's basically for an staging environment on an early stage product. Okay, that's to give you an idea. So you have 1 year basically to test your product, to test Amazon, which is pretty good as well. So you can use another set of products that Amazon provides for free as well. So now with the real life situation, we did some research, specifically using different clients we have with the same stack, and we realized that Google is cheaper. It's really cheaper than Amazon, and I will go through the stack to
30% cheaper.
Yeah, it's almost like it is a lot of money. You know, if we're talking about production environment, staging environment, and all the environments you need, well, it's huge amount of money. So, for example, in Google, using 3 instances of compute engine, which is the normal server, right? 8 virtual CPU each, with 30 gigabytes of RAM, and using load balancing, is $600 per month.
Okay.
With Amazon, the same exactly stack is about $833.
Okay.
So you can imagine you are saving $200 per month using Google than Amazon. Okay, that's for server instances. With database is the same, or well, it's not that a lot of saving, but for one database using 4 virtual CPUs, 16 gigabytes of RAM, and 50 gigabytes of disk, in Google is like $210. In Amazon is $272. So it is not a lot, but if you are running a huge database, well, they're exponential, right?
Do you know, Sergio, how many is expanding Snapchat to Google Cloud?
No.
It's expanding 1 billion a year.
In Amazon?
Yeah, in Google.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
It's expanding 1 billion a year. 1 billion for every video. 1 billion for all the videos, for all the photos, for all the users, for all the servers, for all the database.
Okay, 1 billion only in infrastructure. Okay. Yeah, paying in Google.
That's huge.
That's really huge. Yeah. So you can imagine how much it will be in Amazon.
In Amazon.
Yeah.
Maybe $1.5 million.
Maybe. Well, so as you said, like the comparison here is like 32% cheaper Google than Amazon. Probably Amazon have more features to be used. So in that case, if you need some specific features of Amazon, I think it's going to work to go with them. I think we are paying, and that's a really personal opinion. You are paying for the experience they have. They are pioneers, you know. They were first time to market when they realized the infrastructure as a service. So I think, I don't know what you think, but I think Amazon is charging us that experience and that trajectory.
Maybe. I have talked with a lot of people that they are saying that they feel very trust in Amazon, and they can close their eyes and can deploy every app or every project to Amazon with no matter how many will be the billing, the monthly billing.
Yeah, because I have already talked with several clients we have, and they didn't know Google provides that service, but they know Amazon does.
Yeah, maybe.
So that's why I think we are paying for their experience, or I mean their first time to market.
Maybe Amazon comes first.
Yeah, totally.
Maybe Amazon comes first. Maybe Amazon have been doing a huge marketing work, and if you see the top accelerators partnership in every accelerators partnership, Amazon is in there. For example, 500 startups. For example, Y Combinator. For example, in XTP Labs, and a lot of top accelerators in the world are partnership or have partnership with Amazon, and I think the early stage product can be moved to Amazon easily because of the knowledge, because of the information that they receive from the accelerator or for any other institute.
Okay, yeah, cool. And what do you think about the support? Because this is a difficult topic, and this is like we can discuss per perception. Because I think that the support for Amazon is expensive, but I think it's good. And in the past, we have faced several, let's say, issues. They were not real issues, but let's say that it was issues. And I think the Amazon support just behaved correctly. I loved how they handle our problems, and I love how they suggested to fix our challenges in that moment. I've never used Google support. I don't know if it's really good or not. So probably you have something there.
First, who's using Amazon. So I'm reading a list that what companies are using Amazon right now, and I'm seeing Comcast, I'm seeing Kellogg's, I'm seeing Vodafone, I'm seeing Novartis, and Netflix.
Just imagine Netflix account.
Yeah. How many is the bill? How many? I don't know. And a lot of more customers. GoDaddy is also in Amazon. GoDaddy, the domains company is in Amazon. Well, I think that the billing part is very important to take a decision, but maybe in a product, in a bucket product for funding or for any other rising money or something like that, the developers have the word, The developers can say, I feel better working with Google, or I feel better working with Amazon. And if you don't know what you need to do, ask your developer.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. But now I want to go again with the support.
Okay.
The support part. I was telling you about my experience with Amazon support, and telling you that I don't have any experience using Google support. Do you have?
Yeah, I haven't been using Amazon for example Mo4G. Mo4G is running on Amazon and Elastic Beanstalk, and we're using some services for for object storage and something like that. I have not used the support, so I can say anything about that. The free support, I mean the documentation and the forums and something like that is
good.
It's very good. Yeah,
Okay.
it's good.
Okay, that's fine. So let's go to security. That nowadays is a huge topic. And so basically what I feel about Google and Amazon is like they are too equal. I think they both work hard to increase security, to help us to have secure infrastructures. They both do a lot of work. I think Google shows their team more than Amazon. I mean, it's easier for us to see what Google is doing about security.
Okay.
They do actually some workshops, some YouTube videos about how they handle security. So they are more present, but I know Amazon is doing too. So basically they have different compiles, different ways to add certification to our service. Now with this GDPR for European citizens compile, Google and Amazon take a lead on that, and they help some products to be at accomplishing that law, right, and that compliance. So with data centers, I think they both do an excellent work. Google is encrypting everything which we send from our end to their end in the data centers using TLS protocols to secure communication between Google and the customer. So Amazon does that too. And I cannot say any difference here because, first, security is huge, as you may know.
Yeah.
And they both encrypt the full disk of the persistent disk, so we are really protected by them, and the certifications are easy to get to. For example, in our payment gateway, which is 4Geeks payments, we had to do some certification of PCI and all the compliances that we have to achieve. And Google helped us with that. But I know Amazon will able to help us with that too. It's just that we use Google. And with the user certification, or with the user verification, Google and Amazon are doing exactly the same. They are using actually a tool which is called IAM. And in both places works the same. It's about roles, it's about users and permissions. So with that, we can have our platform secure and flexible. Amazon is doing or has a flexible key management that Google doesn't. Okay, so that's the only difference I can say is that Amazon provides a key automated management tool to have all the secure keys all over the system, like access keys and third-party keys, for example. But as I said, the compiled services are like similar, and there is no huge difference we can mention here. Okay. So going with something more interesting for developers and for people that are working with new technologies, I want to talk about. Okay, do you want to say something?
Yeah. By the way,
okay, go ahead.
I'm seeing the status report is a real time status for Amazon and Google. For example, if you want to check if any specific service in any specific data center is running and is working, you just go to status.aws.amazon.com, And if you want to check it out in the Google Cloud part, just go to status.cloud.google.com. I think both is working so hard in the security.
Yeah, they are very
side.
transparent, with information.
Yeah, and it's very transparent, and their SLAs as very drive address to the customer. They are very transparent, and both are trying to generate trusting.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. And yeah, I think this is more like a feeling situation. With which platform do you feel more comfortable, right? Because as I said, the security is not that different, and the billing is kind of different, but we already discussed maybe the reasons of Amazon billing part, and the UI UX is not a huge deal there.
Okay.
You can learn to use Amazon. Now I was talking about something cool about Kubernetes. Kubernetes is a container orchestration.
That's your part.
Yeah, that's the geeky part I like. And this is cool because we can deliver products easily. We can put products on production easily without no huge pain. And this is part of our DevOps movement we are having at 4Geeks. So Kubernetes, it's implemented on Google native. So with JKE, which is Google Container Engine, you can deploy Kubernetes with 2 minutes, 3 minutes of code.
Okay.
This is so amazing.
Okay.
So I think Google here has the lead because they run it natively, right? With Amazon, you can do it. You can deploy your Docker containers or Kubernetes orchestration with Amazon EC2 container services. But it probably will require more groundwork. That's where, I wanted to put it here because it's something not new, but something we are doing a lot. We are moving our products to use Kubernetes, to use Docker, to use Puppet or Chef, and to have the DevOps cycle up and running on our platform.
Okay, maybe we can detail a little more about how Kubernetes help us or
totally.
support. What's the benefit?
The first benefit that go to in front of me is the scale part.
Okay.
You can scale easily. I mean, you can have the set of rules written from your source code. So you can have, like, for example, okay, you can put like 3 containers or 3 pods of Kubernetes running when there's no huge traffic.
Okay.
But you can upload or upgrade to 10 or 20 or whatever if needed.
Okay.
Okay. So the auto scaling is something I really like from it, and
auto scaling is the main benefit from Kubernetes.
Well, with Google, I see it that way.
Okay.
Okay. Maybe in some forums or other blogs, you can find out other benefits, but the benefits we have faced at 4Geeks with our clients is the auto scaling. You can save tons of money if you have the correct auto scaling platform or the correct auto scaling setup, let's say. So basically, that from my point of view, this is the main advantage of using Kubernetes. And the way you can share, to use containers is just an advance in technology because you just share the containers and all the machines are exactly the same. Okay, so Kubernetes help us to run those containers and upload or upgrade or decrease containers if needed. That's what Kubernetes does.
Okay.
They manage our containers.
Okay.
So that it's really amazing the way you can save money, you can have track of your business, because for example at night when no one is doing or no one is using our system, let's say, so you can save money.
Okay.
It's different to have 5 production servers to have just one. Okay, that's the final goal. So that's what I will say. If we use Kubernetes, is the main feature here.
Okay.
And the developers can do it. I mean, you don't have to have external team. You don't have to have or to pay for an infrastructure senior architect.
All is managed by coding, right?
It's managed by code. So with exactly same team, we deliver the exactly same product.
Okay.
That's really amazing. You know, it's a win-win-win situation. Everyone wins, and that's part of the DevOps cycle we do, right? Now, with the last topic I will want to go through, it's serverless. Why serverless? Serverless is a growing topic nowadays. The benefits are huge, but the limits are huge as well, from my point of view, right? With serverless, you will have to create the new brand code, because it's a way to do code per se. It's not an infrastructure, but it's a philosophy of creating code or how to create the code. So migrating to serverless, I will highly recommend it if we are moving small pieces of our product. For example, reports or huge amount of data processing. Because serverless is the name serverless is not that we are lack of servers. No, but we are sharing infrastructure with different platforms. We can be sharing our application, our running application, with Facebook, for example, at the same time in the same machine. That's what serverless is.
Okay.
And serverless is triggered only when needed. So you pay per usage, per request.
Not per infrastructure.
No, not per infrastructure, not per second, not per minutes, not per hour, but per usage.
Okay.
If your endpoint is accessed 20,000 per day, well, they will charge it that way. Okay? So the saving money, it's huge, because you are not paying the whole infrastructure.
Okay. Google and Amazon have supported for serverless.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to mention serverless, because they both provide strong services to run serverless. Amazon is with Lambda, Amazon Lambda, and Google Cloud with functions.
And what about Elastic Beanstalk?
Elastic Beanstalk?
Yeah,
no,
is it not serverless?
No. Elastic Beanstalk is...
it's like a engine.
Yeah, it's like a engine of Google.
Yeah.
Which both are like the same exactly like Kubernetes.
Okay.
They both wrote containers, but we don't have access for that. With Kubernetes, we have the access of the configuration. Okay, so App Engine and Elastic Beanstalk are more like platforms as a service. Okay, which is really cool as well. We use it a lot. And Lambda and Google Functions, so they are like, let's say they are little functions, like endpoints that return something in a specific that we want to go serverless. So we don't have the whole application just consuming resources and resources all the day, but we have functions that runs when needed, only when needed. That's serverless. So the auto-scaling is the same for serverless. Amazon, for example, provides unlimited number of functions that we can create. Let's say functions are endpoints, okay, in this example. But Google provides only 1,000 functions per project. And there's different ways to do it. But for example, Amazon let us to use different code languages. For example, JavaScript, C#, and Python. But Google only works with JavaScript. Okay? That's something important. And as I can be clear here, we have to create a different application. I mean, serverless is a different way to create code. It's not the normal process. That's why serverless is not for everything, but it can be used for a specific situation that we can go through later. And I think in this example or using serverless, Amazon has the lead. He's leading in pricing. Amazon is cheaper than Google Functions. Why? I don't know. But they are charging us less for using serverless. So that's really, really cool if someone wants to run amount of huge of functions in serverless. Amazon is the way to go as my point of view.
Both are supporting 1 million requests for free.
Yeah,
I'm seeing the table.
Yeah, so that's really, really, really fine, right? So the serverless part was just to let you know that serverless is there. It's something real, but to go through the serverless stuff will be for a next podcast or something like that.
Yeah, because
we can talk about hours about it. Serverless.
I'm thinking about migrations and I thinking
how
about
to migrate.
I'm thinking about security and I'm thinking about another areas that maybe we can add to touch directly, because everything is managed by Amazon or by
because
by
you don't have or you don't have access to that. As I said,
I don't have the control of that.
Yeah, you can share server with some application over there, and you don't know about it. So that's some discussion there's over the internet about serverless. So but it's there. It's there. It's something that we can go check after listening to this podcast and comment our podcast and share, and we can go deeper with serverless stuff.
That's right.
Yeah. So basically, that's what we want to talk about, the Google and Amazon. Personally, I enjoy to work with both. Both provides different, or Amazon provides more tools that probably for a normal application is not for impact, but I like both. And at 4Geeks we work with both. We go with both, and we always put the final product in perspective and go with the correct platform for the specific product. As you said, we have our e-commerce platforms running on Amazon, and we have our payment gateway running on Google.
Yeah.
So there you go. We use both. We like both, and it's totally up to the client to use Google or Amazon.
That's right. Sergio, timing is over. I think if you're listening and you have any questions, maybe you can find us on Facebook, or you can find us on LinkedIn, or you can find us on whatever other platform that you can find us. You can write us any question that you have, and maybe we can discuss in our next episode.
Actually, my Twitter is ser_dev, which is SER_DEF. And you can find me there. You can tweet me if you want to create discussion about Google and Amazon. I'm really happy to discuss.
Shoot them. Okay, cool. Sergio, thanks for the time. Thanks for this conversation. And maybe we can talk about any special topic in the next episode.
Yeah, definitely. We will be here
Soon.
all the weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks so much for.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for listening. Remember subscribe in iTunes. Remember subscribe in iBox or download the application for iTunes for iPhone, or for Android, and share with your friends.
Bye.
Bye.
You can subscribe from the podcast tapped on your device so you can listen to the latest episodes. Don't forget to rate us. That helps us reach out to more people. If you want to get the best out of your business, feel free to contact us at 4geeks.io/contact.